Being stuffy makes me cool and interesting.
Hello, 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 hello. Yo, what's up, what's up, what's up? Everyone. Um, Hi. I hope everyone had a awesome freaking Christmas. Yo, how was your holiday? How are the holidays so far? Yo, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? First things for here, let's go inside first cuz it's a little chilly out here. Let's go here. Yo, what's up? I'm a PNG tuber again today because I'm going to be turning my camera on for tarot card readings, and I can't have my face tracking with me. Um, Thank you for the pets that you cannot see. I should probably disable that, right? I should probably disable that. My bad. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me do that really quick so no one wastes their points. I'm sorry, you had to be the guinea pig. Who did that? Yaturo, thank you for the pets. Thank you for the invisible pets. I'm sorry. Turn that off, turn that off. I guess let's just turn all these off. Because I can't remember what is gonna work and what's not gonna work. I feel the urge to nuke my entire stream setup anyway. I feel like it's about time. Um, so I'm gonna turn these off for now. So we're gonna go through the boring stream arc. Sometimes you need to, you know, sometimes you need a hard reset. You know what I mean? Uh, okay. So first off, thank you, Yatoro. Thank you for the tier 3 resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope your holiday's been going awesome. How's everyone been? Yo, how's everyone? How's your freaking Christmas slash general holiday festivities? How are we feeling? We excited? It's New Year's Eve! Happy New Year's Eve! Yo, Happy New Year. Fuck, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Sometimes you want to peel off your skin. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about that. Waking up right now. Good morning, Kabiora. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, Momo. Welcome, Greycon. Welcome, Swift the Kobold. Welcome, Poppy Seed. Welcome, Wokasator. Welcome, Howl. Welcome, Rook Cuddle Crow. Welcome, welcome. Walter. Welcome, welcome. Freaking Bon Jam. Holy fuck. Kirby fan. Uh, Welcome. Cake's Adventures. Welcome, welcome. Enkun. Welcome, Camp Cake. Welcome. Yatra. Welcome, welcome. Draku. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Pretty okay. Plans got canceled. Oh no. Oh what? Oh no. What? 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 Well, I hope it's festive in your mind. That's the saddest shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the saddest shit ever. I hope you're having a chill time though, because I feel like people get the seasonal depression around this time, and I am no exception. So as long as y'all can just chill out, give yourself a break. You're the first person to recognize my Bon Jam. That's crazy. How many people you saying Bon Jam to? I'm probably the only person you're saying Bon Jam to. That's some Kirby fucking what's that one called? Star Allies? That's the Star Ally shit. Uh, yeah. I have to act like I'm not a Kirby fan. Well, I'm kind of a fake Kirby fan, but I have to act like I'm not a Kirby fan at all because I don't have a Switch 2 and I don't have freaking Air Riders. So I don't even freaking care. I don't even care. I don't even care about Bon Jam. LEB, welcome, 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 welcome. I didn't cry my birthday. Happy birthday! Wait, when's your birthday? Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Mama! Happy birthday! Oh, Christmas is already. I got a bench for my keyboard. Oh, that's awesome. History books, yo. Toilet books. Whoa. I don't know. I mean, paper is kind of porous. It was Sunday. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Kirby invented Vor. I thought it was John Vor that invented Vor. Interesting, 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 interesting. All of my family members gave me cash. Yo, that's the best gift of all. Some say the best gift of all is the friends we made along the way, but I say it's cold, hard cash, in my opinion. Let me just scroll up a little bit. I'm sick of sweets. I'm making a bunch of cookies and chocolate bark. Whoa. Yeah, sometimes you need a little break. Eat something a little salty. Partner and I are watching Fallout, Percy, and Stranger Things tonight. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of... All of that tonight? That's a lot of stuff to watch. Hell yeah, that's awesome. You gotta fucking bundle up. It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday to Howell Sr. Mr. Howell the First. So I'm already having technical difficulties, and I don't know how this is gonna go. But my camera, I set up a camera in front of my little coffee table, and every like 5 minutes it just dies. Like it just straight up dies. So I don't actually know what I'm gonna do about that. But we'll see. Let's go see if it's dead right now actually, because I can't even tell. So I'm not sitting at the couch right now, so I can't actually tell if it's dead. So I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna see if I can see myself. Okay, it is dead. Fuck, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna fuck? It's actually dead. I was just waving my hand in front of it. I don't actually fuck. What? Come on. What the hell? I want to have a normal stream. God damn. Okay. Hang on. It should be alive now. Hi. Hello. It's alive. Let's see how long this lasts for. Let's see how long this is gonna last for. Here, I've got to open up Twitch on my laptop here. So I can actually see what's going on. Nice arms, thank you. So it is now 1:48. Let me know, like, scream at me once it starts dying. So, I actually don't even know how I'm gonna do this. It's been a while. I haven't read tarot in a while. I feel like I haven't streamed in a while. I remember when you said your favorite color was yellow way back when. That makes it a Chris couch. I actually did buy this couch for the color. It's surprisingly uncomfortable. Like it looks way more comfortable than it is. It's 2:48 a.m. in 2026. Oh my gosh, you're all alone in 2026. Denunciator, go to bed. Go to bed. Thank you for dropping by though. I hope you're doing all right. Uh so fuck. All right. What? I gotta get my ducks in a row. Here, I'm gonna put this over here. Everyone, like, scream at me in all caps once the camera freezes, because I know it's gonna happen. Okay. Why don't we do it like this? I'm gonna set up a giveaway on Nightbot, and then uh that should give me a way to like randomly select chat members, right? And then we can just rock and roll. I literally I don't even know I don't remember any like spreads or whatever. Hang on, hang on. Let me see if I can get a little refresher here. Log into my Google. Yes, I need to verify that it's me on my freaking phone. How's the volume level, by the way? I always have to ask. I'm sorry. I know I get repetitive. I know I get repetitive with that, but I may as well ask. And y'all are, usually y'all are like, oh, audio's fine. And then I like listen back to the bottom, like, oh, it was not fine, but okay. I guess if it's really, really bad, you'll tell me. I'm not looking at chat right now, by the way. I'm not looking at chat. Let me look at chat. What are y'all saying? Good, a little quiet. Do I sound a little quiet? Am I a little quiet? I can maybe turn myself up a little bit. I'm excited for the new year. I'll be moving with my partner in Seattle within a couple months. That's so awesome. Dude, imagine I pull your cards and like it's like no, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even imagine it's like you're gonna have the worst year. No. This is not how it works. Don't be afraid. That's not how it works. A lot of people are scared. They're scared to have their cards read, and I've said this last year because they feel like they don't want to know if something bad's gonna happen, but that's not how it works. It's about being it's about knowing what to focus on and also, being prepared. Uh if it looks like, if at first glance it looks a little ominous, it's about like shifting your point of view and like regaining agency because there's a lot of stuff in life that we don't have control over. I would say 99 fucking 0.9% of shit that happens to us. Okay, maybe not 99, maybe like what percentage of shit do we not have control over? I know this is like impossible to quantify, but it's not 99. It's like somewhere between 60% and 80%, I'm gonna say. And tarot is about, you know, gaining a little bit of agency back. What if some bad shit happens next year? I don't know. I hope not, but like shit happens, that's life. And this is about being prepared and being not, I guess it's about like taking control of the agency you do have because I feel like people, maybe it's not 60 to 80%. Maybe it's like 50. Maybe it's like 50-50. You know what I mean? I feel like people don't give themselves enough credit. Actually, I feel like maybe we have more control than we think, and I think that's the ultimate message here. You know? You know what I mean? Uh hmm. I'm just looking at some stuff. All right. Why don't we get started, right? I'm keeping y'all in here in suspense. I'm sorry. Why don't we freaking get started? What's your shirt? It's a band. It's like a small band that I randomly decided to buy merch of. Um, they're called the Symposium, and I wore it because it kind of looks tarot like. It's like long and it's got like a skeleton. It's got the Grim Reaper. Spike Days, thank you so much for the resub. Thank you, thank you. Holy cow, thank you, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Let me see if I'm missing anything right now. Let me see if I'm missing anything. We'll get to it really soon, I promise you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, thank you. I'm just hiding follows and rewards requests so I can actually see who's subscribing to me and stuff. All right, all right, all right. So why don't we give this a little test run? I'm actually kind of nervous now. I don't know. I don't know if I should do 3 cards or 5 cards. Uh, hmm. I guess I'll start with 3. Maybe we'll just do 3 to keep it simple. You know, the standard is past, present, future. There's other ones too, like situation, obstacle, advice. Maybe I don't want to say what I'm gonna go for, so I can give myself a little leeway to interpret. You know, there's a lot of them. Honestly, for me, I generally don't try any fancy kinds of spreads. I feel like ultimately the message is usually the same, where people are looking for advice and clarity, guidance, what have you. Like ultimately, no matter what arrangement you put the cards in, it's gonna be essentially kind of the same shit, you know. Not to be crass, you know, not to be a little crass about it, but they're all kind of the same shit. And it's just a matter of, if you put more cards down, you get more specificity at the cost of it potentially being more confusing. Uh, but you know, maybe we'll start with maybe we'll start with me using the bathroom, because I can't read on a full freaking bladder. So let me mute my microphone so you don't actually hear. Oh fuck, I'm sorry. I'm back. I made myself some miso soup for lunch. This is more information than you need. But I'm full of various liquids and fluids and substances. Is the Wheel of Fortune Balatro real, or did they make that up? That's real. All the tarots are real in Balatro. Here, let me dry my hands a little bit. Okay. All right. So active chatters, right? Active chatters. Y'all are active. Let's go next. Next. Minimum time a user must be active. What? No, 1 minute. Unique winners? What does that mean? I guess no repeats. Show advanced settings. Oh, hang on. I don't want to do active chatters. I don't want to just like randomly call on people who are active, right? I want a keyword. Let's do keyword. Um, and then we can do exclamation point join, or exclamation point tarot. Um, remove spammers. I'm gonna leave that off. Okay. Everyone say exclamation point tarot. For some reason, Poppy Seed, I didn't see you say exclamation point tarot, but your name was like already there when I set this up, so I guess you're freaking in. Oh, well, okay, there it is, there it is. I see it now. But that was weird that your name was like preemptively in there. Okay. How much time should I give it? I'll give it like a minute, okay? Because you know we'll get to everyone. We'll get to everyone. Not everyone, but like we'll get to a lot of you, hopefully. Hopefully we'll get to a lot of people. You know, so one of my actual problems, I think, is I ramble when I read tarot. Because the person I'm reading for, I don't read often, but the person I'm reading for is, you know, they're being very polite, they're paying attention, and they're letting me, you know, get my reading out. And then for me, I feel a little awkward because there's like that silence, and I try to fill the silence by just saying shit. which means that I just kind of ramble and I repeat myself, and they're kind of just waiting there, and eventually I just sort of run out of steam, and then I'm like, yeah, and then they're like, okay, and like the message kind of gets muddled. So I I'm trying to actually be kind of like, I'm gonna get on with it, like I gotta get on with it. So I'm just gonna freaking read. I'm gonna see what I see. Maybe I might ask one or two follow-up questions. You do not have to answer. You can tell me as little or as much as you want. We're sharing with the whole class today. You can just not say anything, and then we'll move on. But I don't want this to be too much of a conversation, just because that would work better in person. But because this is a stream, we'll just keep it pretty brief. I'll just see what it looks like. Maybe it doesn't resonate at all. Maybe you're just like, I cannot see how that relates to me whatsoever. That's fine. I, it's fine. Just take what fits and leave what doesn't. Remember to have fun and be yourself. All right, so let's choose a winner. We got 16 entries. Walter, you're up. Fucking awesome. All right. 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 What do we? How are you? How are you? How you feeling? How are you feeling? I'm good. Awesome. Awesome. Are you excited for the new year? Be honest. Be honest. You don't have. It's okay if you're like, oh fuck, another fucking year. Well, maybe you're really optimistic. I don't know. Ah! That didn't count. That didn't count. That didn't count. I'm feeling achy from VR. Whoa. That's awesome. It's just a time like any other. Damn. You know what I'm freaking excited for? The Steam frame. I'm gonna buy that shit. I'm gonna buy that shit even though I spent a ton of money, because my drawing tablet broke. My screen tablet freaking crapped out, and I had to buy a new one, and that's coming Friday. But I don't freaking care. I love VR. Freaking love VR. Here, let's do another shuffle because I dropped my cards. Oh fuck, I am so out of practice. Don't even freaking look at me, okay? Don't even freaking look at me. All right, so let's just do a little. I'm getting warmed up. So sorry if this reading sucks, but gotta knock on the deck for good luck, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut the deck for you because you can't do it. What do we got? Let me see. Interesting. 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 Wow. Also, why is it so freaking dark all of a sudden? Did it get really dark? You can't even freaking see, right? Let me brighten it up a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't break anything. Okay. You're thinking you're stalling. I'm not stalling. I'm not stalling. Oops. Oh fuck. Fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. My bad. Ah. I can't really get it much brighter than this. How do I change the ISO? Ah. Ah. Okay, it's fine. It's fine for now. I got a light over here. Okay. All right. So there are minor arcana too. Yep. We got the full deck. So we got Temperance. We have the 10 of coins, the 10 of pentacles, and the Hermit. What I'm seeing is, I'm seeing that you were pretty good this year. That's what I'm seeing. Did the camera freeze? Okay, we're good. I'm seeing that you were pretty good. Like you didn't like indulge too hard. You kept yourself in check. Trying to be responsible. And I'm seeing that kind of paid off, right? That's what I'm seeing. And how does this relate to interesting? I mean, it almost seems like it almost There's more. I almost want to say that like you that it's okay to like treat yourself in this coming year. That's what I'm kind of seeing. Like a little bit of like, I feel like maybe you're worried about, maybe you're more focused on like keeping the peace or like focusing on pleasing others. Maybe it's time to look inward and think about what you really want. This isn't necessarily a go crazy, go ham, like unleash your beast uh kind of message, but it's what I feel like it's okay to indulge a little bit, figure out what you're really after. I intend to. I have a puppy. Ooh, that's good. That's good. I've been working hard on school. All right grades, but not wonderful. Yeah, yeah, you've been good. And I don't want to say don't focus on school or anything. I don't want to say that. Maybe it's about figuring out like maybe it's about figuring out the next step. Maybe it's about like breaking out of that sort of that like that preoccupation with like this is what I should be doing. This is like let me juggle all these different responsibilities. Um it looks like in the present, yeah, I don't know. I think this is like a message of cautiously kind of disturbing the peace because in the present this is a card about like comfortability and stability and like being in a very secure point in your life. And the hermit isn't about disturbing that necessarily, but it is about looking inward and figuring out like, you know, a little soul searching, if you will. Oh, you're graduating. Yeah, I think this is about next steps. Basically, I'm seeing that this is about this is that you've been working hard and doing well. Um and this is about figuring out putting your focus on what comes next, even if it comes at the expense of this perceived feeling of stability. Uh, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to rehash the same, like I don't want to like beat a dead horse or whatever. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. There you go. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. See, I have a tendency. I told you I had a tendency to freaking linger on stuff, but I think your hard work is paying off. You know, like you're in a good place right now, and I don't think introspection is necessarily easy, but if you're as diligent as you have been, then I feel like things will become clear, you know. But I don't know if you watch SpongeBob. You know when Patrick is like, SpongeBob, we got to look deep inside ourselves to solve our problems, and SpongeBob's like, I'm scared. So I actually feel like true introspection, that feeling of like figuring out really what you want, it can actually feel a little scary. But I think I think sometimes you gotta ask yourself the hard questions. That's why Patrick's going in for you. What the fuck episode was that? I don't remember. It's been a while. Cool shuffle. Thanks. That's the standard. That's the standard shuffle, right? So I'm gonna shuffle first, and then we can pick a new whatever. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. I know I'm not the greatest tarot reader in the whole world, but I'm. Don't be scared. I wanna see people freaking whatever. Reset entries. Are you sure you want to reset the entries? Yes. All right. Exclamation point join if you want. Oh, wait, we're not doing that card. Exclamation point join if you want another. If you want another go at it. Viewers will appear as they enter. Wait, why is it not working? Hang on, it's not. Hang on. No one's. It's not working right now. I am so sorry. You're gonna have to, in a second, say join again. Okay, try now. Try now. If you said join before, say it again. Why is it not work? Hang on. Okay, yeah. Why is it not working? I'm leery of join from Pomfeys. Yeah, this is I am upset. Nothing's working today, huh? Nothing's working. Okay. I'm just gonna refresh. Is it join or is it tarot? I actually can't remember. I'm so freaking dumb. I'm so dumb. It was exclamation point tarot. I'm so freaking dumb. It was, yeah, I'm freaking dumb. I'm freaking dumb. Say tarot. Say tarot. I'm so sorry. I'm jank as fuck. I'm a jank as fuck tarot reader. I thought you changed it. No, I just forgot. I forgot. I'm sorry. All right. Let's pick up the pace. I'm gonna pick a winner right now. Momo. Hell yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Are you excited, Momo? Are you excited for the new year? I hope you are. I hope so. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Interesting. Oh. Wow, okay. Interesting. We have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups. Queen, that's you, Momo. And we have the Two of Cups. Very interesting. Let me turn my lights on a little bit. I don't even know if you can see that. What I'm seeing is... I'm seeing that maybe... I don't know if this is just what I'm seeing. So maybe this may or may not be the case. But I'm seeing that this year, maybe you kind of either tried something new, picked up a new hobby, started a new sort of, either moved to a new place, ventured into some sort of new territory whether it's physically or creatively or some kind of opportunity, but you've put yourself in a situation where you're kind of a newcomer, you're in a position of learning, um inexperience, you're putting out yourself in a new experience, so you're naturally inexperienced. And I'm seeing that in the present I'm seeing you've handled it very carefully and very patiently. So if it was maybe like you tried a new hobby, you've been very methodical and very careful about not like jumping the gun, you know, uh, taking sort of one step at a time, kind of following the method. I got my old friend group back and did crafts before. I hadn't before. Oh yeah, okay. Interesting. I hope that went well because the card that I'm seeing for the future is a card that's about uh making connections. It's about like either reconnecting with friends or making new friendships, new relationships, meeting new people. It says literally two people having a toast. And the symbol over here is it's a symbol of it's Hermes, or yeah, I think it's Hermes, who's the god of communication and a bunch of other shit. He had a really wide domain, but I think one of them was communicating. So this is this isn't the literal meaning of the Queen of Cups, but I do get the sense that the Queen of Cups is someone who's a little bit solitary, not necessarily like a loner, but This is a card about sitting with yourself, reading the situation very carefully, being very patient, planning your next move, like that type of thing. And the cups are these. I mean, I guess both of these are cups, but they're cards about sort of opening yourself up and being vulnerable and being sincere, true to yourself, and putting yourself out there. So I think I would say that's what you got to focus on this year. And if sort of new hobbies, new forms of crafting, if that's like the vehicle for becoming more social, then maybe it's a good thing to put yourself out there, and even if it makes you feel like you're a fish out of water, ultimately it's gonna pay off because this is like the lifeblood of your year is the people you have around you, the connections you make, keep them close. The group is around 12 years old, definitely reconnecting. That's really good. Honestly, I missed my college friends so much, but I've just been so busy with like moving and finishing some personal projects and stuff. Honestly, I feel like I gotta take that advice. Um, so yeah, that's a good thing. I would say that definitely that's the message here. It's reconnecting with old friends. That's gonna make your upcoming year a lot better. All right. All right, we're moving on. We're moving. We're not, I don't yeah. We're not stalling. Uh so why don't we I'm going to reset the entries. Reset. Speed tarot. Yeah, speed tarot. Fabulous reading. Thank you. Thank you. I guess my fear is that because I'm trying to be a little brisk with these, that it's kind of like there's not a lot of substance, but I hope there's something there. So let's get more tarots in the chat. More exclamation point tarot if you want. If you want a quick little reading. I see Rob Tare. I see only Gobia. I see Poppy Seed. I see Cakes Adventures. Let's get a few more in here. Oh. And my camera hasn't died. I guess it only dies when I tab away. I also want to make sure that I shuffle well so we don't get like repeats, because I've definitely had that problem in the past where my past reading, the cards kind of clump together, and then like I literally get them again in the same sequence, and that's very distracting. Maybe I can mitigate that by switching my decks a little bit. Yeah, you know what? Let's try a different deck. This is a very similar one with a different coloration. It's called the Albano, excuse me. Albano Wait. It's really the same artwork. It's just got a different color. Actually, this deck historically is a major part of what popularized tarot in the 70s, because it was sort of, it fell by the wayside during like the mid-century, and this sort of hippie dude who no one really knows anything about took these cards and recolored them, and that sort of sparked the popularity, and it led to like a revival. And then the 70s was kind of hippie era, so like people were really into that shit. But for a while, yeah, it sort of fell out of favor. The original plates for these tarot cards were lost during like some London bombing of World War II or something like that. It got lost, and then they sort of passed a lot of these like anti-witchcraft laws. So tarot was like stigmatized in England for a while, and then it became popular in America in the 70s. And I think it was sort of a revival in Europe as well around that time. And then the rest is history. So this is a recreation of that original sort of revival deck. And then the dude, this dude, Frankie Albano, disappeared. Like, no one knows what happened to him. So that's kind of cool. All right. Ellie! Ellie. We're recreating the experience of World War II. No, we're not, because that's when tarot became unpopular. They were worried about other shit. So, how are you feeling? How's your year been? You excited? Okay. Maybe he's watching. He's probably dead, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe. My year's been okay. Hell yeah. Let's make the next year better than okay. Okay, we can't complain with okay, though. We can't complain. Cut the deck. I've been stressed in the near past because of holidays. Overall, it's been a vibe. Okay, okay. Well, we'll take that because the holidays are sort of coming to an end, and maybe the good feelings can flow. Here's what here's what I'm seeing here. Ooh, okay, okay, okay. That made it sound bad. It's literally not bad at all. I don't know why I made that noise. Ooh, ooh. No, no, no. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. Um. Ooh, no, no, no. So I'm seeing that the overall message of this reading is that you've been juggling a lot of things, and I don't know exactly with respect to what, but in each of these cards, it's about a duality, uh, and the uh the feeling of needing to manage both of these sides or combine them or like synergize them in some way. Um, I'm seeing that this past year you've been really motivated. Whatever you're working on, this is about moving forward, driving forward, really trying to make something happen, pulling in the reins or leading your horses or what have you. There's sphinxes in this card. This is the Chariot. This is a card about drive, about motivation, about like taking the reins, taking control, and really making something happen. Uh, and for the present, this is it seems like this is about. Hmm, I'm seeing that it's not necessarily been an easy process. This is in essence a card about juggling responsibilities, priorities. Uh, this is about like managing. So it can be a little rocky, as you can see. The waves are a little bumpy in the back. I don't know if you can see that. Um, but it looks like you're doing your best. I would say for next year, this is either this is saying either you want to seek guidance from like a trusted figure or not necessarily someone else, but like relying on tried and true methods. So in a way, this is like saying don't go too crazy. I don't know. I don't know if it's about that. It's about saying you want to rely on uh this is about not like getting too experimental with it, right? This is about focusing on what works, what works, kind of in a way traditional wisdom. This is the card about traditional wisdom. So for a more like traditionally minded reading, this could be like, oh yes, consult your pastor or like your your professor or something. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. Although if there is a person in your life who you consider very wise and experienced, I would definitely not I would say don't be afraid to reach out for help and learn as much as you can. But in a different way, this is about making sure you're not getting ahead of yourself. Focus on trust the process, but also focus on the process. Don't jump the gun. Uh, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's about conventional, traditional wisdom, reliable methodology, and that's how you're gonna synthesize these two different like conflicting priorities, responsibilities. If your attention is divided, that's how you're going to find a clear path forward. I dropped one hobby during the summer and ended up picking it up like three new ones. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. And this I I'll never say don't do new hobbies, right? I feel like that's just not what I personally agree with. But if I'm listening to the cards, I will say to go back to the basics a little bit, maybe focus on what you're already sort of, experienced with, I guess. I'm just seeing, I'm just reading what I see, I don't know. Maybe those hobbies aren't gonna, necessarily go anywhere. But personally, I think more hobbies are good, even if they're just sort of for fun. Um, but maybe that shouldn't be your primary focus. I mean, honestly, tarot was just like a hobby I picked up on a whim, and I'm still going with it. So I'll never say don't do hobbies. We love hobbies, but yeah, that is the reading. I hope that has some sort of resonance. I've written don't do hobbies down. No! No! We love hobbies. We love hobbies. But maybe picking up 3 hobbies is a sign that you're yeah. Listen, what do I know? I don't know anything about what's going on, but maybe it could be a sign that you're, trying not to focus on something. Maybe you're distracting yourself, and this could be a reminder to focus on what you have to focus on, and then you can get back to those hobbies later. Because we love hobbies, but if I know myself, we love distracting ourselves with stuff. Because I know I drop a lot of I guess like creative stuff when it starts getting really hard. But that's what you gotta push through. Do hobby singular. I need to pick up my bass guitar again. Been too long. Hell yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm gonna reset the entries here. Why don't we get more exclamation point taros? If you're interested. Ah! If you're interested. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, y'all. Don't be shy at all. Remember, you don't have to share anything you don't want to. You can just say exclamation point tarot and like not say anything else, and I'll just read what I see. And if it doesn't apply at all, then you can just be like, "Oh, that was weird. That was weird." Anyway, I guarantee you, nothing bad's gonna happen. This isn't witchcraft, spooky, whatever. This is just about giving yourself a little creative spark and thinking about your situation in a new way. I personally am not very superstitious. I I don't really lean into any of the astrology aspect. There's a lot of astrology and zodiac stuff intertwined with tarot that I purposely do not focus on because that's just kind of not, that's not really the mystical tradition that I come from. Um, Although I don't know, I mean, I could try, but there's a lot of stuff about like certain suits having like an element and having associated planets and stuff, and I don't really, I don't really, I do a little bit of numerology, I guess. Thank you, Riolan. Thank you so much for the resub. Thank you. So let's pick a winner. Cakes Adventures, congratulations. How are you? How are you? How is your year? Are you excited? Are you excited? I hope so. Let's see what we got. You don't like your star sign? I don't know. What's my star sign? Is that my like, is that my zodiac? I'm a Gemini. I'm just not really good at that kind of stuff. Stream got muted? Can y'all hear me? Hang on. Blah 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 blah. It seems like my audio should be coming through. No problems? Okay. Just my end? Okay, 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 okay. Alright. So I hope you can hear me. Because this is for you. This is for you, Cakes Adventures. Let's see what we got. Interesting. Okay, okay. Hmm. Hmm. this could be way off. This could be way off, but I'm seeing that you're trying to take a little break this year, you know, or if not a break, let's say this year's been really hectic and tough for you. Let's say you've either tried to take a break or you have taken a break, or at least you've stepped away from something and given it space, right? But it looks like it looks like you're in the process of breaking out of that, and that next year you should really focus on putting yourself out there. And let's say this is about um what could this be about? I'm definitely seeing that there's a progression here from passivity to activity, I guess, about like rest to action. And specifically involves reaching out to people and like I don't know. This is about collaboration. This is about give and take. I don't know if this is landing at all, but the time for rest is over is what I'm seeing. So it's sort of like you've taken the time you need, whether it's gradually or suddenly. It seems like next year is the time to get back into the swing of things. This card is specifically about charity, so it doesn't necessarily mean you gotta like go to a soup kitchen or something. But if this is about something creative or something uh career related or maybe even social, it's about putting yourself out there, maybe reaching out a helping hand to people who need it, you know. Or it could be about like, let's say you're at your job, let's say you've got like some clients, this could be about like using that experience to uh focus on what they really need as opposed to what they're I don't know. I'm kind of running. I'm just sort of like picking an interpretation and running with it. This is about I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm seeing that you can really help a lot of people next year. You can, and I don't think charity is a one way thing. I think it's you help and then are helped in return. But like it seems like you can really put yourself out there and be like a positive force for people. I'm gonna start community college next year. Oh, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a social aspect to this. Maybe you're the one being helped, but I definitely feel like there's a positive force that you can be. So maybe you start community college, it turns out like you're really good at what you're studying, what you do, it could be um yeah, I don't know, it could be getting involved with the school or the community, or it can just kind of this could be about being really active in your studies. But yeah, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So this is definitely a clear message of rest to activity. And I love this. I love this. I mean, both of these are both pentacles, and in this deck they're just so colorful. They say that some people call this the watermelon deck because like the pentacles look like little watermelons. They're normally supposed to be like gold coins. I don't know. It's just a nice little palette. But yeah, that's exciting. I think this is a really optimistic reading. There's a lot to look forward to. And if I'm completely off, if you're on the receiving end, this would also just be don't be afraid to ask for help. The ultimate message here is to make sure you're connected with the people around you. You don't want to be laying there, bed rotting in a way. This isn't what it means, but this is kind of a card about bed rotting, and you definitely want to make sure that you're present with the people around you. All right. All right, all right. What a combo after the last 2 years. Hey, that's really exciting though. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You know, I'm glad I'm doing 3 cards and not 5 or 10 cards because we're trying to be quick, and also I feel like I would definitely get confused if I put too much on myself. Um, so the entries have been reset. So if you want to have your fortune read, we can do exclamation point tarot. Here, let's go back to this one. Let's go back to this one. I really do like the standard deck. I have so many other kinds of decks, but ultimately I just keep falling back to this one. I'm just so comfortable with the imagery. I think 5 cards would scare me. No, it's just a little bit more specific, but really it is ultimately the same thing. Poppy Seed, you're up. You're up. Are you excited? Are you excited? Earlier you were talking about peeling your skin off. Hopefully that doesn't happen next year. I hope you're excited. Oh, Dip. All right, this is gonna be a good one. I can already tell. I feel the heart of the cards. Let's see. No. This year was really tough. Imagine I pull the cards and it's like, oh, it looks like your year's gone really smooth. Here, let's see what we got. I don't know why I just sounded like Seinfeld for a sec. Interesting, the Chariot again. Uh-oh, this is a repeat. We got 2 repeat cards. This is literally what I was afraid of. You saw how much I shuffled this deck. I don't like redrawing when I don't like what I pull. So maybe this is a message here. Maybe there's a message here, because the last card is different. Well, if we're gonna say this is the card of motivation, this is also the card of, things are chaotic. You know, things are chaotic. Things are moving maybe a little too quickly. Your horses aren't, let's say if you're on a chariot, let's say your horses are not cooperating with you, you know? What I'm seeing is that next year to focus. It seems like we gotta simplify, right? I think we need to. This is what I'm seeing here is. It's frantic and yet nothing gets done. Well, the future card, this is a card about like a simpler time. So I don't know if things have just evolved to become really hectic and chaotic. But in a way this is about like looking for your childhood whimsy. So if there's no way to calm your situation like literally or tangibly, this is about like focusing on what I guess nostalgia is a really loaded term, so I don't want to say nostalgia, but like focusing on like the simple things, I guess. Maybe getting away from taking some time away from your house is what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's a little crazy at home right now. This is a card. Earlier we read this as stability, but this is a card about family. Not necessarily even the family, about the estate. Like, this could very well be literally the environment you're in at home can be hectic. And what I'm seeing is, maybe this could be as simple and literal as just sort of just going on more walks, going to the park, or maybe digging in, going in the attic and finding, just sort of like being a little reminiscent of stuff. I don't know. Uh, this will just be like, take some time to You gotta find that the quiet and peaceful sort of side of things. Should I be taking a gap semester? I don't want to do anything to do with. I just don't want to do anything with school. Hmm. I can really go for that doom scrolling card. There's no doom scrolling. I'm just saying that like you need to sort of listen to if you're overwhelmed, I think you need to listen to that and be responsive to it. I don't necessarily know, you know, I generally won't be like, "Oh, the cards are saying drop out," like it's never like that. But I think this is yeah, this is about like paring back, focusing on simple pleasures, maybe dabbling a little bit in nostalgia. Although personally, I'm afraid to say nostalgia because I think people rely on it for escapism. But like, this is, maybe that's what you need. If your head's a little bit too filled with stuff that's gonna happen, or things that's happening right now, or what's gonna happen to me, is this gonna work out? Maybe it is a little bit worth it to sort of be like, hang on, like, let me just let me just empty all that stuff and focus on like just something that makes me happy. That's ultimately what this is about. This could also be about reconnecting with like a childhood friend. The childhood is sort of the theme with this, and I'm just kind of trying to apply that to a situation where there's just so much going on. Um, so this is about focusing on simple pleasures, doing something a little bit for doing something for you, and reconnecting with something that's made you happy in the past. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's tough though, but if I look at the spread, I think things will get a little bit easier because there's a lot of energy on this side of the reading, and this is a little bit more tranquil and peaceful on the other side. There's a lot going on in the present and the past, and this is a little bit quieter. So I would say lean into that. Nice deck, Omfter boy, Omfter. I met up with a childhood friend Reese by chance recently. It was awful. Oh my god, you gotta find another one. Oh my god. Oh no. Yeah, I actually don't. I'm not in touch with any of my childhood friends personally, and I don't necessarily think I would want to reconnect with them. So maybe it's about reconnecting with your inner child, and not necessarily with like some asshole who used to bully you in grade school. Hang on, I. Thanks for the reading. Yeah, I hope things get easier. I'm sorry things have been so hectic. Please keep your skin on. Um, yeah, whatever you got to do to quiet that noise. I feel like just do something nice for yourself. Could I get a reading too? You could if you type exclamation point tarot, exclamation point tarot in the chat. We'll pick a random. I'm sorry for those of you who've been typing tarot this whole time. I see your name pop up. I'm sorry I can't get to everyone. I do appreciate it though. I do appreciate it. Sorry if you're constantly trying and you don't get it. Please be a little patient. I'm trying not to take too long on any one of these. Here, let's try this one again. First time I such is the RNG, yeah. Such is the RNG. This is a newer deck, and I'm trying not to like damage it too much by riffle shuffling. Will I get 20 commissions from the same client? Ooh. Well, I will say that I try not to answer yes or no questions with these readings. I try to keep it broad. It's a little bit more creative that way, and I don't know, I feel like a little helpful because, we want concrete answers so many of the times. But I think this is really just about shifting your focus. So you'll never get like a convenient answer. It's just about like, okay, let me think about this. You know, maybe it doesn't resonate right away, but like, if it's in the back of your mind, maybe it'll help guide you if you're stuck in the future. That's the sort of attitude we're going for. All right. The next winner is Rob Tari. Congratulations. Congratulations. How are you feeling? Are you excited? How has your holiday been? Will I become a trillionaire? I hope not. Not because I don't want you to have nice things, but I don't know if there's a good way to become a trillionaire. It's been all right. All right. All right. All right. Well, I hope you're excited. 2026. I feel like this has been a crazy year just in general in terms of like world events. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Wow. Okay. Hmm. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say maybe you tried a new hobby this year, or maybe you're trying, or I don't know, maybe this is even career related or something, but it kind of, I'm kind of seeing that you tried something new this year, or you're learning, or you're a student, or you're just starting at a job, and maybe it's not going as well as you had hoped, or maybe you're kind of stuck. You kind of hit a snag. Try something new, is what I'm seeing. You know, not to say like quit your job, but like maybe you need to go about things in a completely different way. I'm seeing that like you need to look for something that really, really sparks a flame in you. Try to find an approach that you really click with, because you can't, you know, what's the saying? You can't jam like a round object in a square hole or something, like that. It just seems like don't force it. If you're really stuck on something, don't try to push through it, is what I'm seeing. There's no shame in just being like, hang on, I need to reassess this, and we need to find a different approach here. That's what I'm seeing. I lost my job a few weeks ago. Well, in that case, I feel like this is a very optimistic reading. I mean, definitely keep your eyes peeled for new opportunities. Definitely be active in this role, but I feel like there's going to be some promising leads coming up. I mean, I feel like if you find something that you instantly click with on like a on a not necessarily a practical level, but if it just sort of excites you, I would say just see where that leads, because this is a card about new beginnings and new passions and new projects on the horizon. So maybe you have to find it. I think wands, sometimes you have to put yourself out there and find, but like I feel like this looks like things are gonna things are gonna be moving again, because it looks like, I mean, if you can just see this card, I mean, I don't know if you feel this at all, but it seems like you're kind of stuck, or you don't necessarily know where you're going. This is a card about entrapment. Um, and the thing about this card is that you may feel trapped, but you actually, it's more about not seeing the path forward rather than being actually physically constrained, because this person here is blindfolded. They don't actually know. They don't have all the information yet. But it would I would say don't let it get to you. The swords can be these are very heady cards. These are cards about like, honest, it's like the more swords you have, the more you're bogged down with like trying to make a plan, trying to make the plan work, trying to make sure everything falls into place. And the wands are a little bit more intuitive. It's just kind of knowing that feeling is right and seeing where that leads you. And yeah, I would just say, if something's not working, try something new. Don't, yeah, don't try to make something that's clearly not working work for you. This is the swords can be kind of difficult, because they're cards about like they sort of veer into the stress category. Uh, but yeah, I would say focus on the positives and don't just stay light with it, I guess. This means I need new glasses. Maybe. Maybe. I'll never dismiss a simple answer. It doesn't have to be rocket science, But yeah, I hope that I'm sorry to I'm sorry to hear about your job. But I hope I hope things will work out next year. It is an optimistic reading. So I hope you can bring some of that optimism with you into the new year. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Here, there's a deck I have that I honestly don't. I spent a lot of money on this deck. Not this one. This one that I'm gonna get. And I ended up not really liking it. But I haven't also really read with it that often. This is a completely unbranded deck because it was like custom. There's like a independent printer person who makes these. And this is a deck that sort of takes like a historical, like a Renaissance deck, and they sort of photoshopped it to fit more in with this like conventional system. So the way they advertised this is not a deck for historians. This is a deck for people who appreciate the history of tarot but are more focused on reading. But then I got the deck and I'm finding that I'm not really connecting with it because there's in some ways I feel like it's a little sloppy to me. I don't know, but there is something there's something about it that I want to like. So I don't. Why don't I try? Why don't I try this? So this is a deck based off of like an actual historical deck called the Solabusca. Uh, it's one of the oldest decks that we have, and then they just photoshopped it to fit with this Rider Waite system. But the original Solabusca, it just kind of makes me want the actual original because the art is so cool and so interesting. How many decks do you have? Too many. I got hyper fixated on tarot for a while last year, and I literally could not help myself. And that was not. I was not being very responsible with my spending. So I have a lot. Most of them are put away. Some decks I've bought and haven't even opened because I've been like I don't want to like it's not like a collector's value type thing. I just don't want to like damage them because some of these decks, I've dropped like a few cards and my chair has rolled over some of them and it's like, left like a mark and I've damaged them and I'm like I want these to be pristine just for sentimental value. Uh sorry, I'm sort of I'm rambling, so exclamation point tarot in the chat. Exclamation point tarot. You better get it in quick though, because I'm not gonna dilly dally. We're gonna pick up the pace. Let me just shuffle this here. Okay, I'm not the best at doing that because I can't do the whatever that thing. Okay, I'm gonna pick a winner. I want to pick a winner, and the winner is Pyro Pigeon X. Congratulations, congratulations. How's your year been? How are you feeling right now, and how's your year been? All right. Here we go. I might have some trouble reading these because these cards are unlabeled. So I literally just have to interpret the imagery and figure out what card's what. Normally the major arcana have like a label. None of these are labeled at all. So this is... Ooh, actually, what am I looking at here? It's arcana number 16. 16. Oh. I think that's the tower. I believe this is the tower. Let's see. I used to have the entire arcana, like the sequence, like memorized, and now I'm a little cloudy on it. But this looks like the tower to me. Is that right? Is 16? I just don't want to read wrong, so I think number 16 is the tower. Yep, it's the tower. Got it. It seems like you had a really tough year, is what I'm seeing. It seems like you got your shit rocked. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's literally what the tower means, is you got your shit rocked, okay? And sometimes that could be for the best, but it can be rough. It's some sort of reckoning or some sort of major shift. So maybe you got your shit rocked this year. I think this is the 9 of Wands. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9 of Wands. This is about fucking persevering. So despite the horrors you carry on, is what I'm seeing, is that you persist despite the horrors. And this is the 5 of Pentacles? Is it the 5 of Pentacles? Yeah, this is a tough... Maybe that's why I haven't read with this deck. It's tough. I think this is the 5 of Pentacles. Which means... Oh. Okay. Alright. So, I don't know what happened this year. But, I will say... The worst... It seems like the worst is over. But... It doesn't seem like things are necessarily going to be easy, at least for the near future. So you gotta hang in there, is what I'm seeing. You gotta hang in there. It's not gonna... What I'm seeing is that it's not gonna get any worse. It's absolutely not going to. But you may need to focus on just taking it slow. If there's, someone close to you, you can sort of commiserate with, or at least just like someone who can be with you to make things a little bit easier, someone to help you through things, I would definitely focus on that. I would definitely just say, yeah, just focus on one step at a time. It will pass. This is like, you sort of have to weather the storm a little bit. Ultimately, the Tower is a card about like necessary change, so I think things are going to become quieter, and then ultimately the dust will settle. But it just looks like it's just going to be a gradual process, is what I'm seeing. But the Tower is in the past, so it doesn't seem like you're going to get your shit rocked anymore. It's just sort of dealing with the aftermath and building yourself, maybe building a stronger foundation for things gradually. You can't expect this stuff to happen overnight. And yeah, just make sure that you don't take on too much at once. I think the gradual nature of this can be a good thing. because you definitely don't want to rush this or overwhelm yourself, because this seems like this is a lot to deal with. I mean, normally the Nine of Wands is the Nine of Wands. It's that's a card about like yeah, this is a card about persevering, so I would just say continue on that path, but make sure you don't burn yourself out, I guess, or like put too much weight on yourself, because this is a gradual process. I know I know I was literally saying, don't worry guys, there's nothing bad's gonna happen. Um but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see what I see, it's about being prepared, as I said. Oops. So yeah, that's the reading. I hope that things get easier. Because I'm seeing you said that it was a lot, so I hope that it gradually becomes not a lot, but that's what I'm seeing. Anyways, regardless, I am optimistic. You know? Sometimes you need radical optimism. That's not to deny the current state of affairs, but it's just to just be hopeful that in the future, you're gonna look back and be like, you know, ultimately, it worked out. I'm always hopeful. Uh, Threatening optimism. I don't know about that. May be a step too far. Okay, I'm gonna reset the entries. So get y'all exclamation point tarot in here. This is I'm having a good time, by the way. I genuinely cannot see the future. Sometimes I pull cards for myself and I'm like, shit, I'm like, I feel like they're weirdly accurate, but I don't think of myself as like a psychic or anything like that. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but you know, as long as you take things one day at a time and you keep your friends close and stuff, I think it'll be okay. If you allow me a couple suggestions in case you want to get any future decks, do the Before Tarot, After Tarot, and Tarot the New Vision. They're all based on the Waite Smith, but offer a new take showing moments before, moments after. Oh, I've heard of those. I've heard of those decks. Yeah, they draw like the art is like what happens immediately before and immediately after the standard artwork. I actually do really like those. I've seen that deck before. I don't own them, but that's a great suggestion. Thank you. All right. I'm going to pick a new winner now. Sif_O, congratulations. Congratulations. I hope you're having a nice holiday. I hope you're excited for things to come. And I hope your year was not too crazy. I guess that's all we can hope for. But yeah, anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to knock on this for good luck, because I feel like I haven't done that in a while. I don't know what that does. It's supposed to, it's something about, like, calibrating the vibrations. I don't know, New Age people love their vibrations, right? But that's what that's supposed to do. I hope we're all vibrating on the same frequency. Let's see what we're working with here. Interesting. 3 of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. I gotta admit, this is a tough one. So give me a second here. Oof. How should I put this? uh you know hmm. Um, wow, this is a lot. It feels like maybe you've. Thank you, thank
Hello,
you,
it's
thank
been a
you.
while since I seen you again.
X Sinri, thank you so much for the 200 biddies. Thank you, thank you. Welcome on in. So, my first impression of this reading is that, maybe something's. Oh my gosh, thank you! Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Happy New Year! Thank you. I'm doing a tarot reading right now. This is a bit of a tough one. It looks like you're going through a lot. It looks like you've had a lot to deal with this year, and that maybe you've been overworked or overburdened, or maybe just you just took on too many responsibilities, and it's been hard juggling everything. But what I'm seeing is that it's maybe things have to get a little worse before they get better. Um, I don't really know how I'm supposed to read this. I was literally just saying. Okay, so hang on. If there's people who can help you, coworkers, uh, other students, your peers, or maybe some resource that you can find to help you through whatever responsibilities you're going through, I would definitely say focus on that, because the Three of Pentacles is a card about collaboration, but it's also a card about creativity. So maybe you need to find creative solutions to lighten your workload. Um, but I would say don't become over reliant on those resources. Just make sure everyone is focused on what they're supposed to do. Don't rely on that too much. Just make sure that that if you're seeking assistance or creative problem solving, that you don't let your agency away from you. Like you don't let someone else sort of take over, I guess, in a way. Um I'm I'm trying to be creative reading the 10 of Swords. This is a card about this is the card in some ways it's about uh hitting some kind of low point, but it's also a card about forgiveness, and it's a card about, if it's in conjunction with this card, that's where I'm getting that interpretation from, is that definitely seek help and find someone, some sort of resource or collaboration that can help you through anything that's overwhelming, but just to make sure to stay on top of it. If you're, let's say you're like a supervisor, or like a project manager or something, you know, just be on top of things and make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know if that makes any sense. If anything, I've been doing too little. Hmm. Now that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. In that case, maybe you've just been too hard on yourself. I don't know. But what I'm definitely seeing is that you should definitely get involved with some, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe collaborate or reach out and find some people and build something nice. But just be aware that ultimately, at the end of the day, I think this is maybe a bit cynical, but if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I would just say don't be over reliant, but like definitely, yeah, definitely put yourself out there and you know, make something, I guess. But don't be surprised if other people disappoint you. Like, I guess is what I'm saying. But ultimately, it'll be a good thing that you've done it rather than not having done anything at all. And yeah, I don't know. I'm also saying, yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, yeah, yeah. This was a tough one, I'll admit. But I hope there was something in there. But thank you for that. Yes, sometimes I get a little confused, and I feel like it's due to my own inexperience. Um, but yeah, the swords can be really tricky to read because I feel like they're hyper contextual. So if this is a card that's normally about like a low point, then I feel like it's not very useful advice unless it's like in relation to some other aspect of the reading. But yeah, I would say call out like, yeah, I don't know. What I'm seeing in my head is something really specific, so I don't know if it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to put into words. I'm sorry. But that was an interesting one. Hi August. Hi, how are you? If you want if you want me to try to read your future, y'all can type exclamation point tarot in the chat and I can pull some cards and see what we're working with. Exclamation point tarot, get y'all in here. Okay. I'm just gonna shuffle it a bit more so we don't get another repeat. Let me choose a winner. Graycon, you're up. Graycon. Here, let me shuffle this one more time, okay? All right. Okay. Rigged? Literally not rigged, but okay. Okay. I just want to make sure it's nice and shuffled. Let's see what we're working with. How's your how's your holiday been? You're gonna watch all that stuff today. I hope that's awesome. Let's see what we got here. Two of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of Pentacles. Oh wow. Okay. Alright, interesting. 9 of Pentacles. Alright. I had a great first half of 2025. My last half was a huge struggle. My holiday's been filled with good stuff and such tough feelings. I've come on. Come on. All right. What do we got here? I'm seeing that either you've had to make some tough choices this year or you've had to learn some some tough truths. There's some kind of duality here where this is a duality about making a decision. I'll say that like hmm, a tough lesson. Interesting. So we got the Ten of Swords again. So, you know, I'm not going to say that this upcoming year is going to be all sunshine and rainbows, but, you know, you've been. I feel like you're so close, though. You're so close. The Nine of Pentacles is a card about, like, thriving and really flourishing. And I feel like there's glimpses of, like, just finding that sort of peace and that beautiful garden, but, like, it's it's just right there. It's just right there. But, like, yeah, I don't know. There might be it might be a little rocky, but, like, I would say don't lose hope. Like, you're on the cusp. But the Ten of Swords is a little tricky. But I'll say, like, just be prepared because you're right there. Like, I feel like that state of, like, flourishing is just it's so within your grasp, but it's not going to be easy. I would say just take an active role. No, 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 it's not. No cryo sleep until 2027. I feel like you really need to grasp it, and you need to build off of everything you've learned and everything you've gone through. And I think you're gonna have to. There's gonna be moments in this upcoming year where you're gonna be tested, but I would just say just be active and present and prepared because you're so close. That's what I'm seeing. The nines, the nines and the tens, I feel like, 9 and 10, like they're cards that have a lot of energy. It sometimes can be overwhelming and difficult, but at the same time, it's about, like, breaking through that threshold. The 9 wants to break over to the 10, and I feel like it can be a little rocky in that process. But I would say keep fighting, because the Nine of Pentacles is a card about thriving, and I feel like it's just right there. I would also say that swords are also very psychological and mental. So if there's any way you can, like, I mean, not to be like these are like this is like canned advice or whatever, but, like, a lot of times, like, our hardships are, like, I don't know, there's ways to process this without having to keep it all in your head. So it's just about, like, managing any sort of conflict or crisis or difficult situation. Make sure you don't, like, take on too much at once. Just, I don't know, like, meditate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some, not necessarily meditate or whatever, or journaling or whatever, but, like, if there's any sort of method to digest all this stuff that's happening, to focus on that as well, because that's just another way to deal with whatever kind of happens to you. Did I say Nine of Tentacles? I'm sorry. Nine of Coins, Nine of Pentacles. They're like little like talismans, like magic talismans. But yeah, I think the message is to stay strong. Stay strong, keep your eyes peeled, and keep fighting for your, like, personal happiness. Because I think it's within your grasp. You may have to wrestle it out of the hands of fate, but I think you can do it. Keep fighting the good fight, exactly. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's like you fighting for your own good fight, fighting for your own, like, personal happiness, more than I think of the good fight. I don't really know. what that means, but I think of like the cause, and I just sort of interpret it as a very personal struggle. All right, let me clear the thing, and we can get new entries in. The reason I clear it every single time is because I don't know, some people might they might leave, so I don't want to. I want to I want to make sure everyone is here and actually wants it. Maybe you change your mind or had to step out or something, but we can get some new exclamation point tarots. I feel like maybe this deck is like this deck likes hard truths or something. We'll go back to this one, okay? We'll go back to this one. I feel like this is a more beginner friendly deck. It likes to go easy on me. There's something about that deck that just likes to lay it on thick. And regardless, I am optimistic. I am optimistic regardless. I really hope that, like, if I'm trying to interpret these cards, I don't make anyone feel worse. I really do think that tarot is about personal empowerment. And it's about knowing how to strategize as opposed to just being like, oh, fuck. I'm fucking cooked. No one's cooked, okay? No one's, you know what they say. You have to be chopped and cooked before you eat, before you're ate and before you're served and ate. That's how it goes. That's what they say. I've heard that somewhere on Twitter. Okay, let's pick a winner. Ashy Raccoon, congratulations. Let's see how chopped and cooked you are. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No one's chopped and no one's cooked. But I hope your year's been going all right. I hope you're excited for the upcoming year, and I hope your holiday's been going well. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. I'm excited. I just want to make sure this is really well shuffled, because cards have a tendency to stick together, and I really don't like getting like the same repeat cards in sequence. So let me do another riffle shuffle, and then we can see what we got. See what we got. Okay. Ah! I don't know if we should read jumpers or not. I typically don't. Unless I really feel like it wants me to read it. I just attribute that to like my personal failure of shuffling. So let's just give that a good shuffle. Cards jumping out. Yeah, sometimes if I get like one card jumping out, I'll keep it and I'll make that part of the reading. But other times I'm just like, no, I'm not feeling it. I think I just shuffled it weird. It really it's I want to say it's random, but the nicer way to say it is, oh, it's my intuition. I'm listening to my intuition. That's how tarot readers get you. They'll just be like, it's intuition. Yeah, that's a code word for I made it up. I made it up. I try not to yeah, I don't know. I try to stay at least somewhat grounded, but everyone really reads differently. Okay. Let's see. God damn. All right. Okay. 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 Interesting. Got the Hierophant, the World, and the Five of Pentacles. Let's see. That's interesting. This is the fifth major arcana, and this is a 5. The World. So, hmm, I want to say that, I don't know, you feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but like maybe things have been stable. Maybe things have been a little stable, maybe even kind of stifling in a way, but it seems like things have been fairly um like almost like same old, same old. I know that could be way off, but like I'm seeing that like there is some kind of stability and like repetition, maybe stagnation that's happened this year. So maybe the routine's gone a little stale and you're really seeking like release. Like maybe it feels like this isn't where you need to be right now, or like this isn't, you're not meant to stay in this space forever, whether it's a literal space or it's like the situation that you're stuck in. It's like too stable. Um, what I'm seeing that like if you want to give that up, I'm seeing that it's going to be like if you're in search of like I don't know, like your true purpose or like your like kind of your calling, if you're looking for that, there is a lot that you're going to have to sacrifice. So, you'll be forgiven if there's a bit of reluctance, but like that could be a good thing. It doesn't look like you necessarily have to go through that alone, but it does seem like that like you have the opportunity to leave this sort of safe but rigid situation and enter into this state of change and discovery, but it's going to be like you have to weather through a bit of a storm to get there. So it's just a matter of I can't tell you exactly how to go about that, but that's like something that you need to either be prepared for or you need to manage either like gradually or what have you. Like I don't know the exact strategy, but like it could be worth it, because it seems like you have a choice. I mean, like you could do more of the same, but like maybe I'm projecting because this is kind of it, maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but like I'm sort of seeing a situation where it's like, well, how long can you really do this for? It may be stable, but like, is it really like personally, spiritually sustainable? And I mean spiritually in a really like broad sense. You don't have to be like religious, but like things might be fine on the outside, but like it uh you have that opportunity to give up those external comforts to really shake things up a little bit. um I would say be careful about that, but like ultimately that could be a good direction to move towards. Yeah, yeah, that's also another tough reading because these are really like powerful cards. Like they have a lot of connotations and meanings, and I want to make sure I interpret them properly. But yeah, hopefully that makes some sense. I've been avoiding moving out of my college town since forever is making perfect sense. Yeah, yeah, I think that does fit because the Hierophant it's a card about tradition and convention. And in some situations, that can be what you need, what people need is guidance, traditional wisdom, tried and true strategies. But I think they can just as well be stifled. I mean, like, obviously, everyone knows that, like, conventions and traditions can be harmful. So taking that really broadly, you know, sometimes we need to put ourselves in a situation where we break from that routine or that tradition or that expectation. I think, yeah, expectation is a lot of it too. Like, we need to figure out what we really, like, where we really need to be. Because everyone kind of wants to be self-fulfilled, and that's what the world is about. And this is about, weathering a storm. I like to focus on the aspect of this card that focuses on, like, things are hard on the outside, but they sort of have this, like, richness internally. But it is tough, though. I think fives, the fact that there are two cards that have the number five, I'm sort of seeing that, like, change is good. Change and conflict go hand in hand, but it can be necessary. Just to sort of just be prepared. I would say be prepared, but also um I think, yeah, maybe be prepared isn't the right phrasing. I would say get prepared, yeah, like get prepared. I think be prepared is maybe a bit too passive. Oop. But also, yeah, I don't know. I would say take things at your own pace. Uh, that was an interesting reading. Thank you. I hope I don't know. I hope you're excited for the new year. I I moved out of my parents' house this year, and I still feel incredibly fortunate because I've been living with them for a long time and they still sort of support me. But I can't say it hasn't been a little bit scary to, like, be like, okay, well, now I'm responsible for my life, and the apartment hunt was kind of a pain, and it was definitely something that took my full attention for a good chunk of the last part of the year. But I don't regret it at all. And I can't say my experience is universal, but I think the principle of it is applicable because, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's not good to be stifled. That's no way to be, you know? All right. Let's break out the gummy bears. Hang on. Exclamation point tarot in the chat if you want a reading. I'm going to grab another deck. This is a deck I really love, and I read a bit with last year. Where is it? My gummy bear tarot. I really love, like, playful decks that still, they still it's not just like a goofy little cartoon. It's still a tarot. Like, they still focus on, like, the meanings and the imagery and stuff. And I find this deck very charming, even though it's like a cartoon. Maybe it looks a bit childish. It's a smaller deck, so the cards are really tiny. I'll show you. They're just like little, they're just little goofy little gummy bears. Um, I've seen some tarot readers scoff at this deck in particular because it's a little too goofy. They're like, imagine someone coming to you with real world problems, and you whip out the gummy deck. But I don't know. I think deep down I'm like a cartoonist, so I I don't think that it's, like, silly or anything. I freaking love the tarot. This is, yeah, I love the gummy tarot. This was my first deck also. I bought it for myself as a gift. But my friend picked it out for me, so I think it's a gift from them as well, in a way. All right, let's pick a winner. We got four entries. Laurels. It's your turn. I hope your year's been good, and I hope you're excited, because I'm excited. All right. Let's see. You got the gummy. Yeah, you got the gummy. I'm excited. I haven't read with this one in a while. I can't riffle shuffle this because the cards are too small. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna shuffle it a little bit. But yeah, I hope your holiday's been awesome. Oh, I don't know why. I think I want to keep that one. I'll keep that as a jumper. I felt it. It's intuition. Okay. Ooh. Okay, okay. Another hermit in the future. Wow. So immediately I'm seeing like next year is the time to self-reflect. If we want to heed the jumper card, it seems like a lot of things are happening this year. Some things may have moved a little too quickly. You know, that could be overwhelming, but it seems like things were happening and they were happening fast. I don't know if that applies at all. This could be like literal things happening. It could be like moving physically, like moving from one place to another. It could be like things developing really quickly. Um, it can be a bit hectic, but this is there's a lot of progress. Page of Cups. Hmm. I would say the semester was tough. Hmm. This is another reading that focuses on like personal happiness, in my opinion. So this is so cute. They're just so cute. Yeah, I don't know. I would say that this is another reading about I think that like self-reflection can be work. So this isn't necessarily to take a break, although you're welcome. It seems like you can take a break if you want to. I think this is more about asking yourself, yeah, I don't know. Last time I pulled the Hermit, I framed it as tough questions, but I don't necessarily think that's the best way to phrase it. But it would be about asking yourself questions like, really, I guess, finding the questions to ask yourself amidst the like the hectic nature. You know, things may be hectic, things may be like maybe overwhelming, maybe hectic, maybe just there's just so much to think about, so much to do. But like it seems like you really need to take that time and sort of just really think on it and figure out like what are you doing all this for? Like what are you working towards? The Page of Cups, I'm not exactly sure how to read that. It's this could be like I guess what I'm seeing from these two cards together, it's like what's the message you want to get out, you know? It seems like this could maybe be a little bit vague or a little bit I don't know if this actually makes sense. But the Hermit plus the Page of Cups, it's about not only finding the right questions, but figuring out like who to communicate that message to. I don't know if that. Yeah, I know that's vague. I know it's vague. But the Page of Cups is a card about like it's not only it's a very playful card. It could be anywhere between its meaning sort of weaves between like um receiving a message like like reconnecting with someone or reaching out to someone you really want to talk to, someone you admire, someone you like. But if we want to broaden that to the Hermit and have it be a little bit more like thinky and a little bit more like heady and like I don't know meditative, it's about like figuring out what you want to communicate to the world because none of us live in a vacuum. You can sort of be you can actually become a hermit and move to the the freaking countryside and become like a shepherd. But I don't think that necessarily does us any good. I think a lot of introspection serves the purpose of, we have to reconnect with ourselves so we can then communicate with others. So that's the kind of message and that's the kind of introspection I'm sort of getting from this spread. Again, I know this is all kind of vague, um, but ultimately this is about putting that noise away, finding some time to really focus on, I guess, what to focus on. Focus on yourself and like, yeah, I don't know. That's tough. This is about crafting that message to put out to the world. Um, yeah, I would say focus next year. It would be focusing. Hmm, it would definitely be about finding the right questions and taking the time to really think on that. I feel like I another challenging reading to me, but yeah, the Hermit is about introspection. So I think of introspection as as there's some inner wisdom to access. I hope that that's some. I got it. Thank you for letting me do a reading. When I'm not even clear, when I'm not clear on it, I try to figure it out. So I end up staring at the cards for a while. But I just kind of read what I see, regardless of whether it makes sense to me. But that's cool. That's cool. I love the bears. The bears are the bears are wise. Thank you. Seriously. All right. How long have I been streaming for? Wow, I've been going for 2 hours. All right, we can kind of wind down a little bit. I do want to do a few more readings. I'm gonna reset the entries, but we are gonna wind down a little bit. I want to go back to the Albano weight after this, but we'll do another. Maybe we'll do another 2 gummies, and then we'll do maybe 1 or 2 Albano weights. Ultimately, I know a lot of people put a lot of meaning into the kind of deck they're using. Some people like personify their decks a little bit and be like, oh, these different decks have different personalities. I think that's fine and really creative, but I personally, honestly, to me, I think the cards are like the cards are the cards. Like they're regardless of the imagery, I feel like the message is usually the same when I do readings. But maybe different parts of the meaning will jump out at you depending on the kind of imagery you're getting. But I don't see them as very different ultimately. So if anyone wants a tarot reading, exclamation point tarot. Uh, but if everyone's kind of set, then we can just call it. All right, we got 2 entries. Yeah, all right. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. I'll pick a winner. I only Gobi, you're up. You're up. I'm scared to ask. If anything, just be scared of my inexperience. Don't be scared of the cards. There's no sense. Again, this is about self-empowerment. It's about self-reflection. I used to pull it for a while. I pulled a card every day, and I tried to think of something that I was grateful for, and it could be like big or small. They're just little. They're just little like I don't know. It's definitely it's nothing crazy. All right. Only Gobi, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Let's see what we got. I hope you're excited. feel like you got a lot of readings done. I feel like that too. I really want to make sure these cards are well shuffled. Doing all right. How about you? Doing pretty good, I think. Doing pretty good. I've been kind of busy, but I feel like I've been productive lately. I've been very productive. I got cute fan art. Oh, hell yeah. Congrats. All right. Another Hermit. Wow, after all that, you saw that? Eight of Pentacles. You've been working hard. Another Six of Pentacles. I'm getting a lot of repeat cards. I swear, when I do this, there's just cards that I just never, ever see. I don't know if this... You're gonna have to... Just feel free to let me know. I won't be offended if none of this applies at all. But what I'm seeing is that you have put in the work. You have asked those questions. You've like sort of figured out where you want to go, what you want to do, or at least you have an idea, and that you've been working towards that goal. It looks like you've been working very diligently, and it almost seems like you can maybe kind of help some people out. I think that's kind of what I'm getting, is like the next step is to like guide people through the process, and maybe something will come from that, you know. Because I mentioned this earlier, I feel like charity as a concept isn't just about giving and giving and giving. I feel like whether it's like something physical or tangible, like you do get something in return. Like there's growth, there's, you know, if you help someone out, you know, and it's not necessarily you're trying to get something out of it, but like that does kind of come around in a karma kind of way, but sometimes very literally. Um that could just be the next step, you know. Uh Because yeah, Eight of Pentacles is a card about being very industrious, very diligent, very consistent, showing up every day, you know, putting in the work, putting in the hours. And, you know, every card has an upside and a downside, so I feel like that's good. You've been working towards your goal. You don't want to fall into the trap of just keeping your head down and plugging away in a vacuum, you know. It could serve you to just see what you can offer other people. And I don't think it's a selfish thing at all. You know, I think that could just be the next evolution of this kind of work you're putting in for the goal that you're trying to achieve. But this feels like this is a very stable reading. Like I feel like there isn't a lot in the air. This isn't very like psychological or emotional. This is just very practically minded. I would just say just focus on that as like the next step, whether this is career related or school related, or you know, this could even be about like you've been going to the gym, you know, and like, you know, maybe it's time to join like a run club or something. I just picked a random thing, but like I'm just showing you ways this sort of idea could be applied. Um, you know, it's breaking out of that like... Yeah, I think I said what I had to say, you know. I'm falling into the trap of repeating myself again. But yeah, I think that's a very good reading. I think there's a lot of good that can be done, and there's a lot that you can offer, and that ultimately that comes around as well. But yeah, in a way, I feel like it's a sort of keep up the good work type reading. You know, I think that whether or not people see how hard you work, I think ultimately it shows. And like, you know, it'll sort of be recognized in some way. Cool beans, thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. Should I just choose another winner from the remaining two? We got World Crusader and Scrawl Champ. If y'all are still around, because that one didn't take very long. We'll do one more gummy bear reading. I just want to make sure these are really well shuffled. You can do Scrawl? I'm sorry, but I'm gonna let the RNG pick the winner. It could be you. It could be you. I'm just going to shuffle it just one more time. Okay, let's see what we got. Scrawl! If you're still here, if you are still here, I will do the reading regardless, but I hope you're doing well. I hope your year's been treating you well. And I hope you're freaking hyped. I hope you're freaking hyped. But this is what we got. I really want to make sure this is well shuffled. Watch, I pull the same exact freaking cards. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with me, everyone. I know that, wow, another 8 of Wands. What's going on? 7 of Wands? Interesting. 4 of Swords? Ooh. I know that not all my readings completely land, so I appreciate everyone's patience. Sometimes I look at a spread and I'm just like, oh, I see a message. I see a consistent narrative. Other times I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'm sorry if some of y'all's readings are a little bit more vague or a little bit more confusing. Ultimately, I hope that like they do something. This is a pretty clear message to me. It seems like you need a break. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that like maybe you've kind of been in a situation this year where you sort of feel like you had to defend yourself. Like there's just so much happening and you have to be like, guys, just listen to me, like just listen. Like why am I being ganged up on? Like that's the kind of energy I'm getting for the past and present. It just feels like sometimes maybe, everyone just it's just a lot and you wish people were more charitable towards you, you know. Can you catch a break? Uh and I don't know if that applies at all, but I'm seeing that like in the next year, this is the year of rest. You need to uh take some time for yourself and just step away. Or at least you need a brain break. And I would focus on allowing yourself that time. Uh and if there's people who like, want to antagonize you or if they're, you know, constantly either like suspicious of you or trying to like put you in a position where you have to defend yourself, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a battle, but like if you step away and kind of give them that space and that time to just kind of get whatever they got going on in their lives, just let that resolve. Step away some time for yourself. That could be healthy for all parties involved. That's what I'm seeing. Um, it doesn't have to be like there's no hard feelings. I think taking time for yourself is also a matter of forgiveness and like just not holding it against them. I think the swords can be used on yourself and they can be used for others as well. I don't think this should be like a spite break. I think this should be one there I think this is a break that you can kind of find time for that's like a genuine break that's like genuinely healthy. Like there's no hard feelings. Just just need some time to get away from it all and come back with a clear head. You know, none of this could be your fault. You know, it seems like maybe people are being kind of unfair towards you. Just let it's all water under the bridge, you know, but like maybe you got to step away for a little bit. There's just too much energy going on right now. So yeah, I would focus on finding that calm in the storm, you know, just go easy on yourself and yeah, you shouldn't have to you, it's good that you stick up for yourself, but you shouldn't have to be in that position. So whatever you can do to like give that some breathing room for the dust to settle, that could be good. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, um, Four of Swords, great card to get for the new year. I think you deserve a lot of rest, and I hope you get it, and you hope you get it soon. I really like the gummy deck. Let's just do more gummy. I don't know if anyone in here still wants still is interested, but if you yeah we can get let me reset the entries. Exclamation point tarot in the chat. TAROT. Exclamation point TAROT if you want a quick little reading. It's been a very mentally challenging year, but I've improved a lot. Journaling is great. Journaling is great. I used to journal all the time, and I didn't bring the journals with me when I moved out. but literally, it can really like just genuinely like lighten the load so much to put it on the page where you know that it's not going to go anywhere. You don't have to carry all that stuff with you anymore. Marrow. So it looks like it's just World Crusader now. So unless anyone else wants to hop in later, we'll just get to it then. I didn't give it a try last time you did tarot, but I'll try it out. Let the RNG decide. There ain't no RNG now. It's just you. All right. Last but not least, I guess. Let me make sure this is well shuffled. Wow, there's just some cards that I literally never, ever, ever see. Like, the Fool. I never, ever draw the Fool. What's another one? I feel like... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like the Magician. I never see the Magician either. Strength? I feel like I haven't seen in a while. You know what I mean? Are we doing tarot? Yeah, we are. Welcome on in. Welcome. I'm sort of winding down. It seems like most people are either satisfied or they're sick of me. So, if you are interested, I can do you next if you want. But we're doing World Crusader right now. All right, let's see what we got. See, I swear, you see me shuffle like a zillion times. I get the same ass cards. Two of Swords we also got earlier, and Two of Cups we also got earlier. These are all repeats, but they're in a different order, so this is interesting. Okay. Wow. A lot of duality. I'm seeing that you have a lot to offer, and that you've been very proactive this year. You shuffle so much they go back to their original order. I know! So yeah, it seems like you really do put yourself out there and you try to be helpful in a lot of situations, which I think that's a really good thing. What's interesting to me is that the Two of Swords and the Two of Cups. This is about maybe approaching uh social situations or situations where you have to be social in a little bit more of a I don't know how to phrase this. Maybe this is a bit harsh. It's not harsh, but maybe it's a bit too literal or a little bit too definitive. But I'll just say it and then I can we can get nuance from that. But maybe approaching situations a little bit less like transactionally. He needs it. What the fuck? No, 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 no. I think it's good to put yourself in a situation where you are offering help to those who need it, or at least putting yourself in a situation where you're readily accessible as a resource for people. But what I'm seeing is that you should maybe approach things a little bit more just on the basis of we're just hanging out, you know? Like, it doesn't have to be that you don't have to be in these situations for a specific purpose. Like, you're there to exist with these people and to connect with them. And it's not like a transaction of either material things or acts of service or goods or whatever. Like, it's just um, we're just connecting and communicating, and it's a real conversation, and it's not about who's giving, who's taking. Um, it's about really seeing the people that you're talking to and letting yourself be seen. It's not about what you can offer, you know, if that makes any sense. It's not about like yeah, like it's not about why am I here, what can I do, what can I do for you. It's just about like let's just let's just spend time together, let's just do stuff, you know. um it just feels like that's the focus for the next year. I feel like is to be a little bit more in it. I feel like to be more social and to be more casual and to reach out to people or have them be, or I don't know, just kind of put yourself in a situation where you're just kind of, it's just kind of vibes is what I'm seeing. I'm just kind of seeing vibes. It should be more vibes heavy. Yeah, Two of Cups we've seen before. This is about communicating, and this is about giving. And I think in a lot of ways these are very similar. So I'm trying to pull the meaning apart because they're different in some kind of nuanced way. Because they're both about being active, but maybe it's about shifting the kind of activity that you're doing. And the Two of Swords, right smack in the middle. This is a card about making. It's about resolving a duality, making the right choices. I don't think this has to be like a big dire choice. I think it's just being open to um how do I want to phrase this? I feel like if anything, the swords is what you have to let go of because cups is more about the flow, you know, like water. It's a little bit fluid, like communicating, like emotions can be fluid, friendships can be, you know, they're not these like set, concrete, defined things. Whereas both swords and pentacles are very, they're about specificity and tangibility. This would just be about opening yourself up a little bit more. Uh, yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm just, you know, I think my job as the reader is to find ways in which these cards are different and similar. So I'm seeing the direction is more towards like a fluid and open energy. It's about being sincere. The last few times I hung out with my friends in Stillwater, I was mainly just playing D&D or going to Chili's. I feel like there is an expectation for my friends for me to be comedic and out of pocket since I'm the comedian of the party. I want to be able to do more dramatic character things. I want to donate more blood since I haven't in a while. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, swords and Six of Pentacles is about, yeah, like don't let these expectations bog you down, especially if this is about being in social situations. I definitely think that, and I don't know if you're like this, but I am, is feeling like I always have to say like a funny thing and I end up not making any sense and beating myself up about it. But like, you have to allow yourself the you just you don't have to justify your time spent, like as long as everyone's having a good time, there's nothing that you necessarily you don't need to find these things to offer. um Ultimately, yeah, this is a vibes card. It's about having a good time and really just spending the time and not anything else. That's what I got. That's what I got. I don't know about I'm not seeing anything about donating blood, so if you I mean that seems like a good thing if you want to do, that. I don't necessarily think that has to do with the reading, but sometimes they give you like a little they give you like some juice or like a sandwich or something if you do. I honestly haven't donated blood in a while. I wish otters were real. So what do we how do we feel? Are we is everyone good on these readings? We can do a few more. I'm gonna if everyone's good on tarot, we can just kind of call it. Here's the hermit again. Doesn't want to leave me alone. Maybe I'll do a little reading for myself. I'll just say I'll just put out a one last call, exclamation point tarot if you're interested. We can do one last reading. We got one, we got one, we got two. All right. Let's try a different deck. Maybe we'll get some new cards.
Pops your demon hunters.
JT, how are you? Welcome. I'm reading tarot right now. Welcome on in. Thank you for the resub. Thank you. Uh, hmm. K-pop's your demon. That all right? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. That sounds painful. I donated half a dozen times for my last 3 years of high school. I didn't donate once at university. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, that's awesome. Make sure you got a little blood left in you. That's very great to hear. You gotta save a little some of that for yourself. That's just my interpretation. But yeah, no, donating blood is good. Donating plasma is good. All that stuff is really great. Let's choose a winner. We got three. What happened? Rook Cuddle Crow, you're up. How are you? Welcome. Oh jeez. Oh god. Oh gee. No. It's all good. I promise. If you're not excited for the new year, you're about to be. Ooh, that was a good one. That was a good riffle. Okay. Let's see what we got. The Emperor. 5 of Cups, interesting card. The 3 of Wands. Would you describe your year as productive? That's my question. Because I'm seeing that either I feel like you've been in a situation where you have been building something. Like you were it seems the Emperor, it's a card of authority, but it's also a card of think of like a general contractor. You're laying the foundation, you're putting up the steel beams or whatever. So it seems like you've been building flying robots. What the heck? Or what? Are you like a freaking like a NASA engineer? That's awesome. I don't know what that means exactly, but that's cool. Well, regardless, you've been building a lot, and maybe you're in a situation where you feel like you wish you had more results working on drone planes. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's a situation here where it feels like either something either unfortunate happened or something disappointing happened or you lost like there's some progress that was lost or something that can be a bit of a bummer. But I'm seeing that you have reasons to be optimistic next year. And it's that, you laid a strong foundation and sometimes you just have to wait it out, I guess. This is a card that I literally think of and I immediately think optimism. And in the present, I'm seeing a card that can often be interpreted as um, sadness. Like this is a card that literally look at him. Um, so yeah, I'm seeing that you've been hard at work. You've been in some position of authority. It doesn't have to be like you're the boss or CEO or whatever, but you're calling a lot of shots and you're building a lot. And yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe there are some setbacks, but I would say just have faith in the work that you put in and look towards the next step and not necessarily towards like the things that are happening right now that are setting you back. Because the thing with the 5 of Cups is that you're focused on misfortune, but you don't see that there's like you haven't lost everything. And maybe it's not that dire, but like it's definitely a matter of shifting your focus. So yeah, I would just say trust yourself, be optimistic for the future. Obviously keep an eye on things, but these things take time. Sometimes you have to wait for your investments to come back, I guess. And yeah, I mean, it's not all like being the emperor, being in this position, it's not easy. So, it's not it's not a matter of, disappointing events won't happen because, as you can see, like things shit does happen, but like as long as your foundation is good, you just have to trust the process. Um as long as you're prepared, there's no reason not to be optimistic. All right. All right. I really do like the albino weight. The first time I saw this deck, I was like, these colors are so funky and so weird. This really feels like an alternate universe. There's a lot of like secondary colors like green and orange and purple. It's just so strange and like I don't know. I really like it. The only thing about this deck is that the scan isn't perfect. Even in the original, not even like the reproduction, like it's a little blurry, but it doesn't bother me. And the nice thing about this deck, I recommend it for anyone who is getting into tarot. I there's no watermark because the company US Games, they like to put their stinking watermark on everything. On this one, which is a fairly new like print or whatever, they put it on the back. But in the standard one, they have it in the front, which I really don't like because it's just like here you got this like centuries old, like divination card, and then the freaking copyright US Games thing in the corner kind of ruins it a little bit. But there's no printed copyright thing in this one at all. And there's sometimes you can I think normally last time I checked this was like $17, but I got this I waited for a sale. I got it for like $13, $14, which is awesome. But yeah, tarot decks can be anywhere between for like these like mass market ones, they can be like $20, 15 to $20. And some of the more like artsy ones can be a bit more. And then if you want these like indie decks, like these like independently printed ones, they can be really, they can be like $50 to $100. And then there's a ton of them on eBay. If you find a really good deck that you're like, what? I didn't know they were still printing that, and you find it on eBay for like $10, it's fake. And I wouldn't recommend getting those because not just like it's not good to support that, but like the quality of the print is usually really bad. I wasn't expecting it to be so pertinent. Wow, I guess sometimes I'm like, whoa, what the heck? I mean, I think the scientific answer is that the human brain is really good at finding patterns. So any random arrangement of images can be related to our lives somehow. That's why like horoscopes are so good. But even knowing that, I pull these cards. Sometimes I'm like, there's goddamn no way that it's that accurate. But then other times it's not accurate at all. So I guess I'm just grateful for when it does fit. Um, we'll do one more. We'll do one more, okay? One more. And then I'll maybe do a reading for myself. Maybe I'll talk about myself for like 5 minutes and then we'll call it because there is some stuff I want to work on today. And I also want to clean my apartment because it's a little stuffy in here. So exclamation point tarot if you want for this one final reading, I would say don't be shy. We got one. How's the first year in your new apartment been? It's been very good. My main focus is figuring out how the F I'm gonna afford living here. But other than that, I've really been liking my apartment. I have roaches, but I'm working on it. Honestly, I keep this apartment pretty clean. I think they sneak in from a hole somewhere, but that's city living for ya. But no, it's been great overall. Okay, we got two. We got two takers. I'm gonna choose one winner. Icy Slav Cat, congratulations. Congratulations. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope the holidays have been treating you well. I'm gonna not count that one. My issues have been fruit flies. They're so hard to get rid of. Oh, yeah. My parents have that, like, plug in the wall type glue trap where you plug it into a wall and they fly towards this, like, UV light or something and they all get stuck. And there's been times this past summer, and the summer before, where they've had so many fruit flies, the freaking glue trap at the back of that thing is just like, it's gross. It's really gross. There's just so many. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've heard that like they could be coming from the drain, so sometimes you can like pour in boiling water. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That would drive me nuts. Our apartment is strayed for roaches too right before Christmas. Soured the mood. Oh no, roaches. Oh no. Ours come from the drain. That's freaking diabolical. They're hiding in there? God damn. Okay. I'm doing alright. That's good to hear. We will take alright. Let's see what we got. More cards I've seen before. Justice! That's a new one. Oh. Interesting. Okay. The Three of Pentacles. Justice. I'm sorry it's so dark.
Hope you have a wonderful new year, my beloved daughter.
Thank you, Hugh. Thank you so much. Thank you for the resub. I hope you have a wonderful new year as well. Thank you so much. Justice was my card of the day, Paul. Ooh. Justice is an interesting one. So, I'm seeing that I think the message here is sometimes the truth hurts. I don't know why. I look at the spread and I'm like, I think the truth hurts because when I see justice, it really is about truth. Um, because with more truth, with more clarity, people kind of things sort of fall into place in a logical and fair kind of way. And I think that like for the 3 of Pentacles, this means that like if you are hmm, yeah, maybe there's some people who haven't been pulling their weight. You know, I think there's some shift here that like is necessary. Like if you're working in a group or you're living with roommates or yeah, I don't know, this could be like a group project or this could be your team at work or your roommates or I think it seems like maybe they've been I don't know, that's interesting. I just feel like yeah, I'm seeing that like maybe people have been letting you down and that's really disappointing. You know, it could honestly and I don't want to even say this, but like it could be people that you expected better from. But and we've talked about this during the last reading, but like the 5 of Cups, it is about shifting your focus. But yeah, it would, you know, I don't want to say prepare for disappointment or something like that. Um, but I would say to focus on gratitude, focus on the I would say focus on the people in your life who are close to you that you trust and not on those who have been consistently letting you down. uh and that's not to say people can't change, but I just feel like if they are not pulling their weight, then what can you do about that, right? Like if this is a team effort, if we're all working towards something and you're not well, you gotta make like Among Us and like vote them out, I guess. Or maybe it doesn't have to be that literal, but you might have to like leverage your focus on the people you can rely on. Or I don't know, maybe I'm misreading this completely. Maybe you're the one that's not pulling your weight. Someone's been I don't know. There's some, you know, I don't know, something's not right here. But it's not all bad though. Don't worry about it. I think this is just a matter of um you know, yeah, you might have to it's just there's no sense crying over spilled cups. I think it's about focusing on a shift of not a shift in priorities. Yeah, a shift in focus. A shift in focus. I feel like I could it could be that I still feel as though I'm not pulling the weight myself. That's not what you know, that's a possibility in this spread, but that's not what I immediately think of when I look at it. But if it really is a collaboration, this could be a cue to reconvene and just have like a, you know, it could be like a roommate meeting. Like, can we all just like sit down and hash this out? Someone's not washing the dishes. you know, I took out the trash, you know, like it's like maybe this is a the collaborative aspect has kind of become fragmented. We need to figure out a fair system to avoid a situation where you're massively disappointed. And even if you are, it would just be about pivoting. You know, if your ship is out of balance and too many people are on one side and it's about to tip over, you just have to recalibrate. And that recalibration can happen in your head, you know? Um, that's what I'm seeing from this spread. So it's about keeping the ship afloat, so to speak. That's what I'm seeing from this. There's no real time to beat yourself about it or to be sad about whatever is happening or someone who's like fucking you over. It's just be flexible and be ready to yeah, just be ready to rebalance this, recalibrate this whole situation. Yeah, this seems like a little bit of a tricky situation to navigate, but I would say yeah, that's the focus. It might be time to, all hands on deck, let's just figure this out. Especially because just that's such a strong energy for this card is justice. Is that maybe you do need to call this meeting. That's not an easy thing to do. Hopefully that makes sense. Justice. What a concept. All right. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you. I'm going to do one more reading for myself. Just just to see what I got in store. And then yeah, we can call it. Let me make sure I didn't miss any resub or anything like that. I think I got it. I got everyone. If I forgot to say thank you, I apologize. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Um, I know I've dramatically scaled back streaming this year, but I definitely don't want to quit streaming. I'm just sort of, I just want to, I'm focusing on other stuff. I made a Patreon. I guess I haven't really announced that. I don't know if anyone is, y'all are already giving me your money as a subscriber, but I guess if you're interested in like my non-streaming, like what I got cooked up non-streaming wise, mostly like art, but not necessarily drawing. Like I'm kind of teaching myself stuff like game development. I want to learn more Blender stuff. Oh, you know what my goal is next year? I want to try learning how to make a 3D VTuber model. I don't know if this is something I'll get to finish or be satisfied with, but I want to make a 3D model. That's definitely one of my concrete goals next year. Um, and that's not exclusively, yeah, like I think the Patreon's it's going to be a pretty general artistic journey. It's not like I don't think you should expect a product from that, but like if you're supportive of my journey and you're curious about like what I'm focused on at any period of time, I would appreciate any support. Rhyme or Chester? Chester. I don't want to stream as Rhyme. I feel like that would ruin them for me a little bit. Chester can take it though. I feel like Chester can take it. I like having a little bit of distance. I love Chester, but like, I don't know. I think it's good to have something that's a little too close to me to put out there. But yeah, my Patreon is it should be I'm Chrisium. It should be patreon.com/I'm Chrisium. Or I don't know how the URLs work. But yeah, I guess I should have mentioned it. Whatever. Y'all definitely y'all will hear me talk about Patreon a lot more next year. So I guess I won't. I guess I'll put it everywhere at some point. But I don't want to be obnoxious about it. Okay. Knight of Wands. Oops, everything's upside down. Knight of Wands, the moon. I'm sorry it's so freaking dark. I'm gonna turn the lights on.
Happy New Year.
I'm sorry I didn't do that earlier. I don't like having the lights on up there because it's just they're so strong. But yeah, it just became so increasingly dark that I don't know. I should have done that earlier. Sorry about that. Okay. For me, this is a reading for me. The Knight of Wands, the Moon, and the Six of Pentacles again. Um, that's interesting. The Knight of Wands is about exploring, to me. I think the court cards can be a little open to interpretation for a lot of people. But to me, this is a card about exploring uncharted territory. The moon is about treading carefully. It's like secrets, the subconscious, not necessarily, it's about illusions. So this could be, yeah, I don't know. We got the Six of Pentacles again. This is the charity card, as I've talked about. Giving and taking. Um, I guess this is a similar theme to something we've seen earlier, but like, if we take these two cards, um, I don't know how to arrange this so that, which one's first? Is this the first? Is this the left? Um, the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I feel like we've seen this theme before. It can be like going from a situation where I'm by myself to a situation where I'm involved in a community, a little bit more involved. I feel like, I've kind of been more like a reclusive in the past like couple years. Like, I haven't really done collabs, and I've just sort of talked to the same like two or three people that I talk to every day, which I'm perfectly content with. But maybe it's time to branch out again. And I'm very focused on like art communities and like learning like software and stuff like that. So this could be about like getting involved in terms of like um in terms of like creativity. So it's not like that pure social energy that we see in the Two of Cups. Maybe I can be a resource for other people, and vice versa. The moon is about, I'm interpreting this as a card about like um there's a lot of cards that can be about patience and waiting for like the morning to come. There's like dewdrops being falling, like it's like there's dewdrops falling from the sky. So maybe, yeah, maybe I just have to sort of be patient and focus on like, yeah, I don't know, focus on putting myself out there next year. I'm not getting a really strong message from these cards, but I'm trying. I do love the moon as a card, though. I think the imagery is really cool. The moon is just, there's just so much meaning in the moon that I'm not really sure which interpretation to go for. Because it is a card that can be a little ominous, you know? Because it's about being in the dark. Like when things are not clear, they can sort of be illusory, like things aren't as they seem. So this could be, yeah, it's like if I'm reading for myself, it's like what am I not seeing right now, right? Like what does that mean? Um yeah, but maybe it also means I shouldn't worry so much. Both of these cards are so, the energy is so clear and concrete, and like, the all the wands cards, like they happen in this like wide open field or desert or what have you, and this one is like being active. So I interpret this as leaving my shell. Maybe it's about planning. That's true. There's times I feel like I plan too much though. Because planning and doing are two separate things, right? You have coins and wands, which are material stuff, and establishing uh building. Yeah, yeah. I find that I'm very much in my head all the time, and that can be like where I'm at right now with the moon, but there's only so much thinking and planning you can really do, because when I see the Knight of Wands, I think of like, well, it's time to learn a new skill, or time to really put myself in an unfamiliar situation and just see what happens. But um, maybe it's time to rejoin society a little bit. I don't know. I'm not 100% confident in that reading, but it's something. But yeah, that's, I don't know. I you know I'm like looking outside. It doesn't feel like the year's ending to me. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what to expect. I'm not like pessimistic about next year personally. I don't know about like, yeah, just for me. Like I feel like it's gonna be all right, but I guess I really don't know what's gonna happen, because I feel like this year was the transition period for me, like moving out and, I guess pivoting away from streaming a little bit. I really need to figure out what works for me. And Patreon is my attempt to like, you know, like maybe I can focus on this or this or this. I don't really know what's gonna stick. Um, yeah. I've been working on a little thing that I want to drop next month, not January, but in February. And I've talked about it before, but I'm kind of being vague and coy about it now because I really just want it to be like a thing I shadow drop. It's like a small little game project. Y'all have heard me talk about it. But now I'm just like, maybe I want people to forget. Maybe I'm just like, yeah, I've been working on this for too long. I don't want expectations to be too high, and I just kind of want it to be a funny little, quirky little thing. But it's essentially pretty much done. And I'm just working on like branding and promotional stuff, and I've got to edit like a short little video about it, and I just want to like shadow drop it and put it out there. And I don't think it's like very good, but I think it's weird, and I think weird can be good. I think it's weird, but I want to work on new stuff. I don't think I'm gonna finish anything new in 2026 in terms of like gonna start a game and finish it. Like, no, that's gonna take way longer. But I want to work on like something completely different and something completely new, and then I want to be able to see if I can sell it. You know, like for a couple bucks on Steam or whatever. I've been finding game development really rewarding and and fun, but it's also like arduous. So it's something I want to get better at, and I don't know. I think if I'm being optimistic, that'll lead to something. And then I want to bring some of that energy back into streaming as well, because I think a lot of the things I found most interesting about streaming was kind of game development adjacent. And next year I'm going to freaking nuke my entire stream setup and like basically build it back up from the ashes. So that's gonna be something that'll be interesting. Ta, Happy New Year! How are you? Yeah. So if anyone's interested in that, follow me on Patreon. You can subscribe there's like a free membership tier that you'll get some updates if you're interested at all. I would appreciate it if you like just became a free member as well. I don't know. If you're interested. What is this I hear about a Patreon? Do you have a link? Let me grab it. Patreon. Oops. Patreon.com/Chrisium. Is that how it works on Patreon? There it is. You could share it here and in the Discord. I could, but I don't want to be obnoxious about it. One, because I just started it and there's no content on it. There's not like a wealth of information that you can unlock for $6 or whatever. So I want to kind of like soft launch. Excuse me. I want to like soft launch it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's something you could check out if you want to just be like a free member. You'll get like some updates from me. It's not gonna be like terribly entertaining stuff. It's just more gonna be like my creative journey type content. But maybe that's interesting to some people. Everything that I think will be generally like broadly entertaining, I'm gonna put out in public, so it's definitely not like a necessity, but I do appreciate it. Do a commission tier with limited slots. That's actually a good. I thought about that. Commission tier. Does that mean like people who are patrons are eligible to commission me? I don't know. I know there's people that do this, but I guess I feel weird about like, okay, you're already paying me every month if you are a paid patron, and then you gotta freaking pay me for a commission. Like, I don't know. I gotta square that in my head, if that's what that means. If you have stuff on it to share, let me know. I can give a recommendation on my Patreon to push it on my members if you want. Thank you, thank you. That would mean a lot to me. Yeah, I'm definitely still building it up, but I'm excited about that. And I am not giving up on streaming. I think I just need to give myself a little space from it and then come back to it. But I do love streaming. Um, or a raffle for once a month for a high tier. I don't know if I could do that either, because even though the highest tier is kind of expensive, uh, it really, because commissions take me such a long time. I'm not sure if I can do that every month. But I'm already working on like, I don't know, other stuff. I'm not sure. I do want to do commissions at some point, but I don't have it fully figured out yet. For now, it's just purely there's no expectation, but it's there. Maybe there'll be something interesting on it someday. I want your art. I want my art too, but I'm tired and I'm lazy and I'm sleepy and I want to take a nap. That's what I did. I focused on game dev for a while, then it helped me come back to streaming from with more passion. Yeah, that's literally my plan. But in the meantime, I'm still gonna stream. I just won't do anything like too crazy. I might make a banana bread every so often, which I guess is pretty interesting. Shit. 2025 is over. What a year. This has been a crazy year for me. And I don't know how next year is gonna go, but I'm not necessarily. I guess I'm neutral. I'm literally the most neutral. I'm approaching the new year in the most like. I hope it won't be crazy, but I don't think it's gonna be awesome. It's just life. I want to try and do better next year. Me too. Me too. Happy New Year, Arashi. Okay, I think I've just been sitting and rambling long enough. I've been going for 3 hours. Thank you, everyone. Sorry if you're just joining. I literally finished all my tarot card readings. But yeah. I don't know. I'll be back. I'll be back. Maybe I'll do a little stream tomorrow. I just wanted. I know it's Wednesday, so it's a weird day for me, but I wanted to do this before the new year started. But if I'm feeling it, I might do another one tomorrow because I know I missed Christmas. And then in the end, the second half of January, I'm gonna be busy. My parents are gonna be on vacation. I have to like house sit and like also help out a little bit at the like I have to work a little bit for them just to do some just to do some errands for them. So I'm gonna be at I want to be at my parents' house. I'm not sure how my streams are gonna work. If I do stream, I won't have anything like set up. Like I won't have any redeems or whatever, but I've got to figure that out. Also responsible. Thank you. They're paying me. They're paying me like generously. They're like, "Okay, you're living by yourself now. We need you to help out and then we can like help you with your rent a little bit." I'm like, "Okay." Okay. Okay, I need a real job, but okay, I'll take it. But that does mean I'll be busy for 2 weeks. Um, yep. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Okay, I'm gonna end the stream now. Oh! Best revenge is living well. Okay. Just hang on a sec while I figure out who we should raid. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's raid donut. Did we raid donuts last time? I think we raid donuts last time. Donuts is great. But if we rated donuts last time, maybe we'll rate someone else. Hang on. I don't actually remember who I rated last time. Let's just say hi. Do we? Who did I rate? Fucking, I don't freaking remember. Let's raid Whis. Raid, not Whis. Whis. It looks like Whis just started their making art, and their art is really really good. So we'll say hi. Yep. It's a good time. Wow, I really flexed my tarot muscles today. That felt good. I gotta do more of that stuff. I don't know. I hope that that was helpful or interesting at all. I'm sorry if it made it seem like y'all are gonna have a terrible year or whatever. I don't think any of the readings were like that, but maybe it came off that way. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It's just like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep though. But yeah. Hope that was fun. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year. Fucking get excited. Yeah. Okay. See you on the other side. Bye. Bye.